Good evening, YouTube. What the skink is going on? Well, I guess Saurus in this case. I guess skink came to... Well, alright. Gor-Rok is going to club me over the head with his mace for bringing... I don't know, though. Maybe he's a firm believer in skink rights or something. I don't know how Gor-Rok feels towards skinks. But in any case, here we are to honor the great Saurus himself by continuing the campaign. The first thing you will notice is that this campaign isn't right where we left off, and it's because I recorded the last episode, and I have it. And if you all really want me to, at some point I will release it as like a lost episode. It wasn't terribly interesting, and I'll explain why. In this campaign, I really wanted to be interesting for you all. I wanted to be good. I spent all of like 8 turns and almost an hour chasing armies around because we were at war with 4 different people, and stopping a rebellion, chase over here, stop Wolfheart, chase over here. It was... None of the battles were particularly interesting, and it was a big waste of time, and we haven't captured any further territory. So, I can release it, but that's why I didn't, so don't hate me. I think I'm doing you all a favor here. Plus, I get a chance to incorporate some of the things that you all asked me for, so I will jump in and do that real quick. Okay, the Dark Soul requested that I name one of the chameleon skinks the Sneaky Snecks. We can do that. And a lot of people upvoted it, so it seemed like a lot of people wanted that to happen. So I will take care of that. Anthony Strickling, and also thank you, Anthony, for being a channel member. That gold badge there, that means he's been a channel member for over a year. I think Gustav should have a good mix of skinks and Kroxigors. They synergize well. Probably some ranged and red-crested skinks. I agree. So we'll have the Kroxigors be the hammer. We'll get a little bit of range, red-crested skinks. I'll probably put a dino or 2 in there that are like skink-focused dinos, like an Arcasotek, something like that we can put up and have it be skinks focused along with the skink priest. So almost 50 people upvoted that one and seemed to agree. So Anthony, good idea. And then Sanks says that it wouldn't be an air campaign unless there was a character named after Patchy. So he's suggesting Patchy, the great salty lizard, leading a full stack of Dread Saurians, which I don't know that they will allow. I think CA changed. I don't think I can have 19 Dread Saurians. But we will find a fun army for him, and we will bring him in, since it seems like quite a few people want that. And then just one last quick one here from Javi. Javi says, name an infantry unit that expels and battle Jurassic Spank. Well, I suppose we can do that right here with these Saurus warriors who have the most chevrons from clearly... How do you spell... I think it's 2 S's, Jurassic Spank. Yeah, if I spelled it wrong, you all can have me fix it on the next episode. But there we go. Thank you for the suggestions. If you have more, please get down there in the chat and let me know what they are. So I appreciate you all being here. If you want to see more, make sure you subscribe at the end. If you get done watching and you liked it, hit that like button. If you don't, feel free to dislike it or tell me what I need to do better. Anyway, here we go. The legendary Gor-Rok. And he is indeed legendary. I was working towards the geomantic sustenance, because money it's kind of a thing right now. As in, we don't have it. I need to reissue the alignment of crafting in the Northern Great Jungle, because I have retaken everything. Wolfheart pushed down, took Chakwa, took it back. Axolotl rebel that's about to do it again. I'm not spending any money on Axolotl though, because it's just not a very defensible position, and it's not very worthwhile. I am positioned in Chakwa to go attack Wolfheart's faction, while I have a temporary peace with these other factions. That peace will not last long, so we need to take advantage of it. I'm okay losing these 2 provinces for now, as long as I can make some progress to the north. Okay, one other thing to note is that during the Lost episode, I tried to get Techless to make a non-aggression pact with me, but instead he offered for like 100 gold to join the war against the Blue Vipers, and I was like, yes please, let's do that. So hopefully he'll be helpful. And it puts more pressure on the Blue Vipers at this point, pressure that I'm happy to have applied to them. I'm gonna push Waxland. There's no immediate defenders there, just a witch hunter nearby. And you can see the Skaven still up to their business over here. They'll be causing all the trouble that they can cause at the moment. I'm not going to chase that army of Blue Vipers. And if I push this way and there's another army here, that could also be rather risky. I am going to push this way just to take a peek There is an army there. I'm going to hit an ambush stance. This still leaves me at a pretty great risk. Because if they're still spamming boars, we're in pretty significant trouble. So that means they have one army headed back to heal this way, and another army here. But if we could somehow injure this army really badly, it'd make it a lot easier for Techless to support us. So rather than just sitting on my hide in the city, I'm going to try that. Could be a mistake. We'll find out. I'm not going to spend money on building. Well, you know, we can afford a little bit of buildings here because we got a lot of money, but I just don't want to go too crazy in case I end up in some kind of protracted battle here that could turn ugly for me. And Ketax, I really do want some cavalry available to me. We need it badly. We definitely need cavalry. I can't hardly afford it, but we might be able to disband some other units. But then again, I'm not about to recruit this cavalry anywhere in the next few turns. So some part of me is hesitant to throw that out there. Copeland Spear Riders, 2 Pterodon Riders, Scar Veteran, Saurus Warriors, 3 Temple Guards, 2 Croxies, Feral Stegi. So we get 4 Temple Guards. Copeland Spear Rider, 2 Feral Stegis, 2 Croxigors. This could be good in case we end up having to defend Itza with just the garrison. That's going to be a pretty substantial garrison. It's going to take 5 turns to complete this. I'm gonna go with the risk there just so I can get Itza leveled up. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and attack Waxland. We can't attack the settlement immediately because we don't technically have a unit that can break the... Any of these units can break the gates, though, but this is just CA's way of making sure you can't just roll straight through these settlements. So, here we go. We're going to continue the siege. We do have the imminent rebellion. This is expected down here. This army hasn't budged, and I do not intend to fight that army. I really don't. So I'm going to get back here and just see if I can bolster up the public order a little while. I've got access to 3 more Saurus Warriors. I most certainly can't afford them for very long at the current pace, but I will save those in case of an emergency. And I'm going to perform this right here. It'll cost me a little more gold, but 15 turns of extremely powerful Saurus Warriors? Yes, please. It's extra armor, defense. It's hard to beat that deal with a stick. Now, some of you may wonder why I didn't fight this Shield of Aeons battle. It's because this battle is actually, if you don't have the right units, it's kind of challenging because there's 3 different lords there, and if any of them die, you lose the battle. And it's a pretty big battle up against some big creatures, and my army is just not very well outfitted to support those other armies because most of my army is very slow. So I don't want to fight that yet. I feel like it's a bit of a mistake to take it now. Clan Scryre declared war on me again over the turn-in. That's fine. I hate them and totally intend to fight them over the course of this. So I think what I'm going to do is kind of move this force to more of a midpoint of the northern jungle so I can be a little more reactive. The only thing I hate about being there is that it hurts my public order. And I'm pretty sure we're already on the one that's helping public order a little. So yeah, I don't love that, but we'll be fairly immune to rebellion. And we're now able to assault this. This is a waste of our time, so we're just going to auto-resolve and take Waxland here. That's not really worth watching. Though I will quick save in case we get really screwed over on the auto-resolve. Not too bad. Could be worse. I think it gave them a little more than they deserve, but not too bad. For being auto-resolve, it was not bad. So Brass Cleaver is actually... Ooh, the Umbral Tide. Now, that is interesting. I took the settlement and my income went down? Eh? Settlement... Hey... Huh? Does one of these buildings cost me upkeep? I'm a little bit confused. Maybe I lost some trade or something during the turn-in? I don't know. It is very curious indeed. Come on, just trade with me. Yes! That will help. That will help. I don't... Yeah, I'm already trading with Techless. This is good.
Test my patience.
He doesn't want a non-aggression pact, though. He's a little testy. Techless the testy. I really want the Altar of the Horn Rat, but the good news is that we took Waxland, and it also has the ritual resource. Man, it's going to be so hard to even do the rituals. Is that all? Is that all that Wolfheart's fact? That's going to be really sad if that's the best that Wolfheart could do. Oh my gosh. Really, CA? I don't even... Well, that's a little anticlimactic. I guess Nakai is the one who really fights against these guys. But, alright, whatever. Well, so Temple of Kara and this one are going to be my next target. We got to damage these Greenskin faction to the point where hopefully Teclis can help us take them out. So yeah, I think it's just time for us to end another turn. Once we deal out some skill points here, we can start Geomantic Sustenance. This is good. See, every little bit we can get, it all helps. Wound recovery time causes terror. There we go. Alright. Alright, Clan Scryre has arrived at Mouse of Kerveza. Don't love this. Don't really want to let them rebuild their strength. Ikit Claw has some wicked units in this army. If I was sitting in any of my garrisons, though, we can take them. We don't have a lot of choice here. It's kind of a buffer zone anyway, but unfortunately that's causing me to... well, it was causing me to lose money whenever he was sieging it. Yeah, so that's going to cost me a little. But as long as I'm still in the positive... And honestly, even if I go a little bit in the negative, that's why I've been building up my buffer cache here. That's why I've been building up the buffer cache. Temple of Kara is going to be our next target. I'm going to stop just inside my territory so I can replenish. And then we'll hit Temple of Kara. Fortunately for me, leadership is pretty good here. I'm going to build this Skink Flavellas just for a little while. Okay, Teclis is sending some help our way. I don't remember if he got military access, but it doesn't say that, yeah, that he's really doing anything. I kind of wonder, like, with Teclis, I wonder if he's headed this way? Does that leave Ketax? I can't get too far away from Ketax because the garrison can't survive a large greenskin assault, and this stuff down here just isn't worth a whole lot to me. I definitely don't want... Yeah, I'm really glad I moved over here now.
Foolish thing. No.
Because Blister showed up. I hate that I'm in a force march, but now with this garrison at Ketza, we can hold up against a pretty big Skaven army. We lack magic, though. It's a problem, but that Stegodon will help a lot. He will help a great deal. Well, now we're losing huge money because of siege settlement and some raiding. I can't afford to lose that kind of money for long. He is hanging out just outside of reinforcement range, I think. I don't know, let's see. Yeah, he's hanging out just outside of reinforcement range. Not a good battle for us. Yeah, even if I hired the Blessed Chameleon Skinks, this is a bad fight. That is a bad fight. We can cut some of our loss there by taking over Temple of Kara. It's got a Skink Favela in it too. Or Skink Barrio. And we can take another settlement there too, and possibly cut our losses from what's going on here. We can't attack him. We have to rely on the garrison. Really need Teclis to get some work done against those greenskins. He's certainly got the capability with all the archers and Frostheart Phoenix and all that other stuff. Yeah, another rebellion here? Really? I mean, can't rebel twice, I don't think. Maybe we can. Geomantic Sustenance going to take us down to -8 upkeep, so that is also now playing in significantly. So all of my opponents have completed a ritual. Not really worried about the ritual. We get a chance to try and stop them in the end. So I'm fairly unconcerned about what's going on there. I can't attack this guy, and if he comes together with Ikit, we're in a bit of trouble there. So we need to hurry and take care of this war with the Blue Vipers and be done with these guys. They are a waste of time. Unfortunately, they're a little bit too powerful waste of time, but they are a waste of time. I don't know who just took us here, but most likely Skaven. There's a lot of Skaven around. Yeah, I need you to take care of business. I mean, definitely need you to take care of business down there, buddy. Okay. Again, very little for me to do here. Gustav the Ancient Croc. We'll just go with Fervent. Keep that Skaven corruption down because it is going to be trying to spread. Okay, the Blue Vipers are begging me for peace. They're not going to get it just yet. I'm going to take their settlement and then we'll see if they'll take it. Alright, Axolotl going to get attacked by Effectikey. I mean, I really don't see how we have any chance of winning this, but that is much better than I would think. We lost, but, you know, I didn't really wow, we actually saved money by them taking that? Huh? Okay. Whatever, works for me. Alright. Gonna occupy again. And we're now in the positive to a good tune here. In fact, I'm gonna spend a little money on this settlement. I'm gonna keep that for just a short while. I'm not idealized for growth here, unfortunately. But public order is in pretty decent shape. Here be Standstone. Okay. Province secured. We should be able to get a peace treaty out of the Blue Vipers now. That won't make Teclis love us. But that frees up one of my flanks. I definitely would love to have their gemstones too. But we've got a lot to deal with. I mean, this is going to be Clan Scryre all through here. Yeah, like all down through here is going to be Clan Scryre. And then we got Spittle. And then we got Pestilence. Like, we have a lot of Skaven to deal with. So we really need Gor-Rok's attention to not be so far north. This is good, though. This work helped us finish Geomantic Sustenance. That puts a lot of money back into our treasury. And Croak can now heal, folks. Be afraid. And he's about to pick up 25% resistance at level 20. So be very afraid. He is going to be an insanely tough toad. Now, Blister lost some troops here. A pretty fair number of troops. These guys are still pretty tough for what I would be bringing at him. But I have a significant number of skink cohorts. And he no longer has a Doom Wheel. I think he's beatable. And this would put Clan Scryre on their back foot too. Plus, I know that this is a skink army. But I can't really set it up as a proper skink army right now because I don't have the right facilities. I don't have a place, for instance, to recruit Croxies. We need said building. It's here, actually. Yeah, we can't recruit Croxigors yet. Upkeep on Croxigors. You know what, though? Let's save our money. And let's save those blessed Saurus warriors. We may need those in a summoning. Let's go ahead and build that so that we can make this a proper skink army and give ourselves the challenge of defeating Blister. Oh, he's gonna run. He knows he's in trouble. Let's chase him. Let's kill him. And then This ought to be a pretty successful episode here. Armor piercing damage. Let's put that on one of our... Actually, let's put on one of our Saurus Spearmen, because our Chameleon Skinks already get it. Okay, here we go. Alright, we're gonna start things off from Blistit's view here with his Warplock Jezzails, and I sure don't like these things when I'm playing a Lizardmen campaign, but I have to admit I do have a lot of fun with them whenever I'm playing a Skaven campaign, but we hate them. We hate them so much. So yeah, here's Blistit's army. Now, Blistit does have the Warplock Jezzails and the Rattling Gun Weapons team, and he really has some solid infantry. There's quite a few Storm Vermin with Sword and Shield and with Halberd, but I think he overall lacks the support he'll need to defeat my army. I'm going to use this special drop I have here, which is going to take away, it's the Holy Stella. It's going to take away missile damage and accuracy, so I'm leaving that back where I expect the missile units to be. You can see I've had a long, thin line engage, and I'm working the flanks. Over here, I've got my Skinks with Javelins and my Amaxon Barbs here, moving around the flank. Rather quick units, and so we should be able to get in behind the enemy. My Blessed Stegodon is over here helping to cut through some elite tier infantry that my infantry is struggling with on its own. And then we have the rest of our Javelin cohorts rounding the right-hand flank of my army to come in for some support. So you can see here that the Blessed Stegodon, a very key part of our army. If we take a look at the damage, already 22 kills, and it keeps the leadership of the Skaven low, despite the fact that even like right there they're winning. Head-to-head with these type of upgrades, the Storm Vermin are still going to beat my Skinks because of their lack of armor. Eventually, if we get enough upgrades, we can overcome that. Let's check out the Amaxon Barbs here, slinging their poisonous darts out of their tail, or barbs in this case, doing some nice damage. Gustav is in here beating the crap out of some Skaven infantry, and I believe that their lord is somewhere over here in the fight. I don't remember exactly where Blister ended up. Yeah, he's up here. He's so insignificant we couldn't even notice him amidst all the other Storm Vermin. You can see that the Skaven have a few small pockets of resistance out here, but we're slowly but surely overwhelming them in a couple of key areas. So see, now I've got all these skirmishing units in behind this blob, and then I've got a Saurus Spear unit coming to reinforce the suffering red-crested Skinks, but Skinks did a really marvelous job, all things considered. I'm going to go ahead and push my Barbs in here and get into melee with the Warplock Jezzails. It's a good target for them because the Jezzails have decent armor, and they deal armor-piercing damage while in melee. See that we've got some good progress being made. Now we're poisoning and dealing damage. This is why I like Skink cohorts with Javelins. They're only decent in melee, but they can cause a tremendous amount of damage on a flank with their Javelins. And if there's a lightly armored cavalry unit or something, the Javelins are quite effective. And if they're skirmisher units, the Javelins can catch them or exchange skirmish fire with them. We've got our cohort of Sotek here. Really awesome looking red-crested Skink unit. See one of our Barbs following them there too. At this point, Gustav is looking to come take on Blistit, and he has found him. The Great Croc does not appreciate Clan Scryre defiling his jungle, and he pretty quickly drives Blistit away, and his forces shatter under the weight of the Great Croc's army. Alright. Very successful battle against Blistit. We can replenish our unit some. He dies where he stands because he'd already retreated. So that gives us a nice little leg up on Clan Scryre in terms of lessening their strength. And we, of course, had taken control of the creeping Jundle here. I do need to... my game crashed, so I had to reload, so this may look slightly different than it did a minute ago. And, yeah. Do I really want that? I feel like I'm gonna need defenses. I guess I'll keep this for now. always want more trade goods. Try and take that every time you get an opportunity. And then at Ketax, Chakwa. I need to rebuild my defenses at Chakwa. It's relatively undefended, or under-defended at the moment, I should say. We need a skink priest really bad, and we can recruit one. So we should recruit that for Gustav's army now that we have the chance. And I believe that I had put in place... Yeah, here we wanted to get to Kroxigor, so I gotta redo that. Because again, I had to reload my game after the crash. I don't really want to build that here, if I'm just being honest. We could put the Pterodon hatchery here as well. And then let's upgrade Chakwa, and then Chakwa is where I'll put my cavalry building so that we don't load all military buildings at Ketax. So, gonna spend quite a bit of money this turn. We've been sitting on it for a while, but we're making a little, so I feel like we can afford this for at least a few turns, if not more. And with Gor-Rok, we finished Geomantic Sustenance, again, reloaded, so that's why you're seeing some of this. And healing. Alright, just issue our commandment here, and end our turn, see what our enemies do. Alright, Clan Scryre, led by Ikit Claw, followed me with an army straight up to Waxland, so these guys are absolutely relentless in their pursuit of my territory. It's going to take him a little bit, though, because he does have to siege. You can just go ahead and finish installing some upgrades there. I don't know that there's a whole lot else we need to do here. This army is over here, but I'm not worried about them. That settlement really doesn't mean anything to me at the moment. But I do know that here in Itza, we want to get a skink priest. And I'm going to need you all to help me name said skink priest. So please get down into the comments. Ooh, an extra magic item drop chance is actually really tempting. And both Beast and Heavens is quite good. They're both quite good, but I'm going to go with this guy. Like I said, you all help me name him. He's going to serve in Gustav's army. Some much needed extra strength here. And we'll want a skink chief as well. We can actually recruit a skink chief right now too. Let's just make sure I did that right. Yeah, alright. Recruit hero, skink chief. You have a choice between strategist, arrogant, and aggressive. Arrogant is actually pretty nice. Immune to psychology for a skink chief would be quite good, depending on who we're fighting. So this will round out, at least for the moment, Gustav's army until our Kroxigor recruitment is ready, which shouldn't be long, and then we'll be able to get that army properly situated the way it should be. Mouth of Kerveza is going to get sacked again. It's of little or no consequence to me. Maybe. I don't really want to hurt the Winds of Magic. They're pretty important to my army. Look. I mean, just little rat stinks everywhere. I'm gonna have to push up here in order to try and scare these guys back. They still may sack Chakwa in the meantime. The Skaven are absolutely relentless with this type of crap. I'm gonna go ahead and force march up within reinforcement range. I know I'll be tired, but just in case he attacks the settlement on the next turn, we won't be left defenseless. Gor-Rok will actually be able to reinforce. So we're gonna make sure that we've cut him off there. Let's go back to our building tab here. We're still waiting for Chakwa to upgrade, but unfortunately it could very well get sacked on this turn. It probably will. The Skaven will know they're going to be defeated, but they'll just take the money and run. So that's a fairly typical AI tactic. To the point where I'm going to cancel the construction on these buildings. I'm pretty sure it gives me my money back. It does. I'm going to cancel the construction on those buildings, just in case the Skaven do that on this turn end. I'm not going to give them free money there. I'll lose a couple of turns of build time, but we'll live. Alright, send my heroes that way. I hate losing a port and exotic animals, but like I said, it's just kind of the price we have to pay at the moment until we can... We got to clean up just a few more settlements, and we'll be in pretty good shape to start holding our own, because we'll have less flanks exposed to different wars. So we just got to be patient, fight through this stuff. We're going to need this building here, the scrying pool. So I actually kind of do need to build that one, at least just to get the research started. I still need the growth that's here too. We could temporarily build it in Itza, but I don't want to do that, so we don't have to worry about it just yet. Construction costs for resource producing buildings. Let's just go with speed for cold ones. We're probably going to be using them relatively soon. I don't really want to tear down any of my income producing structures right now either. So, Luther Crazy Face Harkon is declaring war on me because he is literally mad and stupid. So, I guess the AI was disincentivized by the fact that I didn't give them all my money to potentially loot and scoot with here. So they went north in a forced march to try and reinforce Ikit Claw because Ikit Claw is in big trouble. They can reinforce all they want. It's of little consequence to me. I'm going to attack them, and I will defeat them. So I will see you all in the battle. Well, the armies of Ikit Claw await me, and much like the last battle, we've got Warplock Jezzails firing at us, but there is a huge army of Skaven here, led by the disgusting Warplock Master himself, Ikit Claw, back here cackling like a little boy who's found himself a stash of candy and weaseled it off all for himself. You can see that there are some Doom Flayers here as well, not exactly thrilled about fighting the Doom Flayers. Now obviously what Krok wants more than anything is to get this army blobbed up, and in order to cause some intense damage with his deliverance of Itza. I do have reinforcements coming out of the jungle over here. The first bunch of it is the skinks. There are some Saurus that are quite a ways behind because their speed is significantly lower. Now on the front lines, I'm going to fall back with my spears, and I'm going to engage with my Saurus warriors with shields. There's a huge amount of storm vermin engaging me. I'll kind of give you an overhead of the battle here. Just tremendous number of Skaven up on the hill. And they are going to be forced to fight me in blobs, whether they like it or not. Their Doom Flayers will certainly cause some annoyance here. And then I'm going to start looking for the appropriate targets for Krok. And right now I believe this right-hand flank of mine is looking good. I put some protection over here for a unit that was kind of off by itself. Krok now terrorizes and heals, so it makes him pretty effective at getting into combat with units that don't just cause tremendous anti-large damage. So you can see we pretty quickly cleared up one flank. We're starting to take some warp lightning fire, unfortunately. And you can see that we're getting some point-blank fire from a lot of these skirmishers. However, I have a little present for the skirmishers, and it was hidden back here in the woods. Yep, here it comes. I've got all my chameleon skinks and my Pop Hapak cohort moving through the jungle and ready to come out behind the Skaven. Here comes the next deliverance of Itza, just blasting through some blobbed up units of storm vermin. You can see that there was a brass orb back there in the back against my skinks, but not a huge deal. Ikit has just kept his position up on the hill so he can fire. And right when these units thought they could flee, they're caught, and I'm actually going to just jump into melee with my pterodons, as well as my chameleon skinks. I want all these Skaven skirmishers tied down and destroyed. The Papa Pop cohort can destroy them, and the chameleon skinks can help hold them. And my pterodon riders back here, the Poha sentinels, are also helping. So now you can see that the critical support needed for Clan Scryre to win this battle was their skirmishers, and those skirmishers are in big trouble now. Look at Croak here fighting in melee. He used to just take a tremendous amount of damage. Now his hit points stay rather high regardless of how much time he's spent in here with a decent infantry unit. You can see the Pop-Pop cohort quickly picking up a lot of kills. And desperate Warp Lightnings here from Ikit to keep his army safe. You can see Ikit still maintaining his position. Gor-Rok is about to break through, and he'll go pay a visit. And now all of my Saros reinforcements have reached the opposite flank, and Croak is going to give them a little support, even though they're not normally in Croak's army. Croak supports all those who believe in his great power. And once again, Itza is delivered. Back to the skirmishers. They continue to be pursued by my cold ones, the warp fire throwers, the rattling gun weapons teams, all of them. And now Ikit, who's busy shooting some vile green vomit, no doubt. Trying to use some kind of jetpack there. I don't know what he's up to, but he is going to get absolutely wrecked by Gor-Rok, and my Poha Sentinels are taking a couple of cheap shots at him in the meantime. Let's take a look at the damage already being done. It's pretty significant. Ikit is a pretty tough character. He is definitely a fairly tough customer for a Skaven. He has a lot of armor, and he's a decent melee combatant. But I don't think anybody on foot is a decent melee combatant beyond Gor-Rok. They would have to be someone healing at an absurd rate or something, kind of like Vlad von Karstein does. So you can see over here 409 kills on Lord Croak, and he's able to stay in melee and support with the potential to impart terror routes onto the Skaven over here. And we'll take a look at Gor-Rok taking out one of his main rivals in the campaign. This should be a moment we definitely want to capture. Despite all of his little contraptions here, Ikit Claw just completely overmatched and then KO'd by Gor-Rok before he can flee the battlefield. So the Skaven doesn't get the chance to flee from Gor-Rok at this point. The lizard kills him, and at full hit points too. Well, we gained an epic victory over a large and fairly well-equipped Ikit Claw clan here. I didn't say they were competent, but large and well-equipped. Pretty much sums it up. So Ikit Claw dies, and Hellkeek is going to be following close. Now, he was formerly of Clan Spittle, which means that there was a confederation there that I must not have caught in a previous message. Oh yeah, we've unlocked a couple of very important units. The Colossedon Hunters, and also the Sacred Kroxigor Regiment of Renown. I don't remember their name right now. We'll go check it out. So we finished Geomantic Sustenance. Gifts of the Jungle would be quite handy. And don't worry, I'm using a 60 skill point mod, so we'll have plenty of skill points to divvy out. So let's use Gifts of the Jungle. And just make it to where our army replenishes very, very quickly. Chakwa is no longer in immediate danger, so we should resume the upgrade process that we had going there. I'd like to get my money here and here, and then let's get ready to recruit temple guards. So we're kind of stepping at a time here, our ability to have all the different units that we need. I'm going to hang on to a little extra cash for now. So that's going to mean that all of this... Well, no, I thought Hellkeek was part of Clan Spittle. I'm thinking of a different Hellkeek, I guess. Different Hellkeek. Okay. Well, anyway, there's more Skaven, quite a few, but the good news is the Cult of Sotek is making some progress to our south. Does not ever hurt to have an ally coming from that direction. I would still like to control the Altar of the Horned Rat, as it was a mission as well. So I may make that push here shortly. The public order is pretty good up here in the creeping jungle, fortunately. That'll make things slightly easier. And then it looks like some progress made by Techless, so things are looking quite good for us at the moment. Chakwa is our most at-risk settlement, so I'm going to go ahead and encamp there. And I actually need to just go ahead and start pushing south. I'd like to see if we could retake this province and the altar of the Horn Rat before the cult of Sotek has the opportunity to snatch it. Silastra is asking for a non-aggression pact. I don't deal with vampire scum. Okay, we can commit to the research, which gives us extra winds of magic. That's actually pretty handy with Croak. It's probably worth 1,000. Let's commit to it. If we raise or sack 2 settlements in the next 20 turns, we'll get a blessed Bastillodon with a solar engine available. That would actually be really, really nice. It takes far too long to march through our own territory here. I'm not a fan. Alright, let's get our heroes embedded. So Gustav is now getting some of the much-needed skink support. His army's now full, technically, but we have way too many skink javelins in this army. We can now recruit Kroxigors, and we have a little bit of money to do so, so let's start dropping a few of these units at a time and getting this army properly outfitted as a skink Kroxigor army here. So let's go down here. We definitely want a couple of the anti-infantry Kroxigors, and so we'll have those coming along the way here. This army's going to need some anti-large capability too. Right now there's a couple of Saurus Spears here. I don't intend to leave them here permanently. We'll find other ways to be anti-large if necessary. We'll adapt, and in fact we'll probably be using Sacred Kroxigors. Umbral Tide I think fits this one because we have the other Salamander hunting pack here, so I think Umbral Tide is a good fit. And then honestly the Colossedon Hunters could be quite good with this army too, as that's also a skink unit. And it would give it some very much needed anti-large capability and allow us to start dropping the Saurus Spearmen. I like these Saurus Spearmen, of course, but they don't fit the theme of the army. And I think the theme would have us bring in the Colossedon Hunters instead. So now this army is better now. We got the Cohort of Hlotl. We've got some Salamander groups, Skinks. We have one more Saurus Spear that we need to replace. And I'm thinking we replace him with a second Dino. And right now we can get a Stegodon. Make sure there's nothing available there. We can get better dinosaurs later on, but for now, a Feral Stegodon will do quite a bit of damage in terms of infantry work, and still have quite a bit of armor piercing in case we need to take down anything large or armored. So we get lots of decent infantry that we'll have to make sure is buffed. The skink cohorts with javelins, we'll probably trade those out later on, but at least Gustav's army is getting equipped. This army will also need changes, but we'll wait until we get the more lethal units. I think I'm going to skip a couple of turns here, unless anything really crazy happens, because I really want to focus on getting down to the next settlements that I wish to take. Okay, I am back. It's been a couple of turns. We need the Geomantic Pylon. This was going to be one of my focuses in this campaign. I said that we would build a really good Geomantic web. So just wanted to show you that we're getting started on it. Also, Gustav picks up another skill point, which allows me to finish Fervent, and we're growing closer, getting Geomantic Cestaments on his army, which we really need, because there are some very expensive upkeep units in it now, and we're going to want to help control that as best we can. We lost our trade agreement with the Order of Lore Masters. Not really sure why. They may have lost a settlement down here in a different war.
I have little choice but to listen to your inane babbling.
Yeah, it's nice to see you too, Techless. I thought we were buddies. Good grief. He's got his trade agreement, so yeah, so it's not available. We can't establish a trade route to the capital, so they lost this one back here, it looks like, in their war. Come on, Techless, get your crap together, man. Take care of business for once. So, Clan Scryre moved like right before I could get here and take Axolotl. They showed up moving underground, and they're just spamming storm vermin and rattling guns at this point, which makes them pretty irritating. I can't actually reach him on this turn. Let's just kind of make sure we know what's going on around us. Chakwa has regained some much needed public order here. We probably need this building too, because it's going to unlock technologies, and it's going to buff up a lot of income in this region. Let's take the army at Chakwa. I don't have the money to build improved defenses there. And I think we're going to make a beeline for some of the territory of Clan Scryre up here. They're going to continue to attack me from this angle. Really? Techless is already out here at the mortuary. Actually, I kind of feel like if we just hold here for a few more turns, our southern flank's about to be secure. And then we'll be able to focus to our north and east and take the Vampire Coast. So yeah, let's begin some new research. Probably rather have the recruit for skinks. I'm gonna see if we can take Axolotl. It's gonna be Clan Spittle, and I have no issue declaring war on them. It's not gonna allow me to take the settlement on this turn. I'm gonna have to build a ram. And with that army on our southern flank now, I am going to go ahead. A little bit risky to leave Chakwa because the Skaven could come underground at it, and I may live to regret this. But we can't afford the improved defenses here now, so I'm going to go ahead and spend that, much as I hate blowing all my money. We could do a ritual thing now, but now is not the time for that. Alright, we've had this Cold Vengeance, which is great because it's going to give us an extra 15% movement range. So, definitely glad to have that. Let's get rid of these wannabes here. Quick, decisive victory. Retaking Axolotl. I'm going to tear this down because I don't need it there. And, feared and renowned here. Oh, yeah. This is good. Minus another 8 upkeep here. There's some more money back in our pocket. Then the next turn we can retake the mouth of Kerveza, and then head for Altar of the Horn Rat. And now we are making a full-on push at the Skaven. I probably ought to go and just do a standard march here, rather than risk being caught out very tired in like a big ambush or something. Our Skink Chief has leveled up, and we're going to focus first on replenishing the troops. And then with our Skink Priest, we of course want to start down the magic line here and get Curse the Midnight Wind, Wind Blast, all that as quick as we can. What I tell you folks, they went right under the mountain and attacked Chakwa. So irritating. I don't know how many times this province is going to have to endure this. It stinks that they sacked Chakwa because I just spent a bunch of money on it. That really irritates me a lot. But because they're over there sacking Chakwa, it's left their own settlement open to attack. And this auto-resolve is a joke beyond jokes. Like, really, really stupid. I'm going to start building the siege equipment we need. That is almost nothing to defend them here. We'll continue the siege. Hopefully some more of their troops will come in to attack us so we can get a larger battle and take out some of their armies all at once. I'm going to go ahead and end this episode by retaking Mouth of Kerveza here. before someone else snatches it. There is a clan Scryre army here. I'm probably doing them a favor by killing this stuff. I'm gonna quick save this in case they screw me over and kill some of my units. They killed a skink cohort with Javelin, 3 of them. It's pretty irritating. Pretty sure I could have easily won that battle without taking losses, but I did auto-resolve it, so a lot of that is really just on me in the end. I'm gonna do this training. And as far as what we need to replace in this army, we need to start focusing. I don't have probably enough money to really focus on the end game units that I need there right now. And I did just lose some skirmishers. And these skink cohorts with javelins move pretty quickly too. So at least for now, because I could put the blessed Saurus warriors in there, and then we could actually keep some blessed Saurus warriors since this army is going to be focused on them. But I think you all wanted me more focused on Temple Guard. But, I mean, this is a possibility here. I've still got 4 fast-moving units. There are actually 6 in total. So, yeah, let's just put these guys in there for now. We can always keep them because of their stats being higher in general. So, that'll help get that army ready to roll on the very next turn. And we're going to push down to the altar of the Horn Rat while Gustav does his work in the north. So, it's been a good episode. It's been very productive. We captured more territory in the creeping jungle, though at this point, chaos corruption is creeping in pretty quick, as is vampiric corruption. So we're going to have to move north and take care of that soon enough. But by destroying some of these units around, the chaos corruption has to be coming in from the north here. I don't know if it's as a result. Way fragments. It's got to be as a result of Silostra or someone else around here. I don't remember who all pushes it. It could also be Marathi's faction or Skeggy or someone that had been spreading it over here. So we've got to deal with it. And then the vampiric corruption is definitely coming from the blood swamps, so we know where to go solve that. There's obsidian and more exotic animals out here, so there's a lot of good territory to capture. But Altar of the Horn Rat will be the next focus, because then we'll have a secure flank on the south, and we can focus everything north. Hope you all enjoyed it. Sorry there's a few days wait in between, but these take a while to make sometimes. And I will see you soon with some more action on the Gor-Rok campaign.